Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am in my study today, which is where I feel I record the most serious videos. I recorded my first video in here which talked all about my MS diagnosis and everything that happened to me and my story, which I will link down below and you can go and watch that if you fancy. And that video was the most scary thing to record and kind of admit to myself and tell the internet, and it was the biggest thing that I think I've done, and I thought that that was going to be the most serious video I'd ever make on this channel, but I think today is going to be a very, very close second. This video is completely terrifying to make as well. I don't know if I've put what I'm doing in the title of this video, but if I have, just pretend that you don't know, because there's a bit of a story building up to my announcement in this video. And that story begins in 2016. 2016, I was hospitalised as I was paralysed in the left side of my body and then got diagnosed with MS. Very long story short, but please check out my video down below if you actually want to know the ins and outs of it all. So I went into hospital in August, but this story starts a few months before that. I think it was either May or June time. And where I was at in my life then was I was moving home after living away at university, and I was 21 and I was freaking out over the fact that in a month I was going to turn 22, and then I just thought I'm going to be 25 like that. And here I am now, 24, in 6 months time I'm going to be 25. Massive, massive reflective period of time for me. So I was freaking out that I was going to turn 22, decided to make a 25 things to do before 25 list of goals and things I wanted to achieve. And I actually found it the other day as I was tidying my room. I completely forgot that I had even kept it. And this is the most student thing I think you can do, but I actually wrote my list on a bit of recycling, on this bit of recycling, Outpro, yogurt, vegan, and I'm going to read you a few of these things that I wanted to achieve before 25. So one of them was start a blog, which obviously I have achieved, although absolutely no clue that it was going to be a blog about this, about living with MS. So I have achieved that. One of them is travel to a new country. If you follow me on Instagram, which is @Izzy_MS, you will know that I've travelled to like a few new countries recently, which has been amazing. One of them is donate/raise money for a charity. So hold that thought in your mind. And another one was train and run for a race or marathon. So that's very interesting. However, all of the goals that I wanted to achieve quickly got forgotten about, as unfortunately for me, a couple of months later I woke up and basically had my first MS relapse. And then ever since then, I don't care what I do with my life, as long as my health is my priority, that is completely fine with me. Everything else is a bonus. So now fast forward into the second hospital that I was in whilst I was recovering from my relapse. I still couldn't walk, couldn't wash myself, dress myself, couldn't get to the toilet, and I was actually given my own room in this second hospital that I went to, and I remember I would spend 23 hours of the day lying in my bed, staring out of the window into the hospital garden, and it was summer as well, and it was sunny and it was warm, just wishing that I could just get out there and jump the fence and run away and never come back. But as I was staring into the garden, I made so many promises with myself. At this point, I had only been diagnosed with clinically isolated syndrome, which in medical terms is kind of like a one-off. So MS wasn't even kind of on the cards, but I knew that I had a really high probability that I was actually going to get diagnosed with MS. But I didn't understand it really at all. So if you watch my first video, you know that I have sudden onset MS. So I basically went to bed normal, woke up, had symptoms. So as I didn't have an understanding of this disease, I thought that one day I was just going to go to bed and I was going to wake up and just everything be fixed again. Which unfortunately is not the way MS works. So I thought I was just going to have an instant recovery one day. So I remember just like willing something and just putting it out kind of like into the atmosphere, like please give me my legs back, please let me walk again. Like if I can walk again, if I get my legs back, I promise that I'm going to use them every single day of my life. I will never take my legs for granted again. I'm going to push myself to achieve everything I want to achieve in my life. Just please make me walk again. But yeah, I thought I was just going to walk again, and I was in hospital in August to September, and I remember saying to myself, I'm going to run the London Marathon this year in April. I'm going to run the marathon, I'm going to do it, it's going to be me just like fully beating this period of time that's happened, this period that I've been paralysed. It's just going to be pushing that to one side and just punching it and kicking it and destroying it. But that marathon came and went, as unfortunately you don't just recover like that after a relapse, and I'm still recovering from that relapse now, almost 3 years down the line, 2.5 years down the line. So that marathon came and went. I had a really good recovery from my relapse. For a long time I stayed kind of plateaued and I could walk and everything was fine. If you met me, you didn't know me, you would have absolutely no idea that anything had happened to me. I look and walk and move like a normal person, which I'm extremely grateful for, considering how severe my attack was, my relapse was. But one thing that only I would know, because it was a feeling in my body that gave way to me that something had actually happened in my body, and that was the difference between my left side and my right side when I was doing anything quicker than walking. So if I was running, or if I was at the gym, or cycling was really noticeable there. It was extremely noticeable that my left side was so much weaker than my right side in terms of messages travelling to the side of the body. So if I was cycling, for example, my right leg would be on fire because my left leg, the messages just weren't travelling down to that side of my body quick enough for me to actually put my weight through it and use it. So that was that. I did start running pretty much as soon as I could after my relapse, just because I wanted to be normal again and I'm just gonna go for it guns blazing. But it was always really emotional running, and I think as I was running I was imagining myself running the marathon this whole time, just imagining getting to the finishing line and just feel like this is such a big achievement for me. I'm fully running away from those weeks that I spent in hospital and running away from this disease. I had been diagnosed with MS, by the way, after I got discharged from hospital. So I didn't think I was going to make that marathon, but I thought that's fine. I'll just do it next year. So 2018 maybe? Yeah, I was like 2018 will be the year that I run the marathon. In this time, I had had one course of treatment of my Lemtrada, which was my disease-modifying therapy. So that was another little hit on my body, although I actually took the treatment very well and had no issues with it at all. That first year that I had it, it really made my left side a lot weaker. This is really difficult to explain, but throughout the year I was having some kind of random symptoms, so like tingling, or there would be a day where I couldn't write, for example. Like I woke up one day, wanted to write something, I couldn't write. But that's actually because my body was healing itself. So of course if some activity is going on in some like lesions, it's gonna cause some sensations or some symptoms. You're gonna notice it a bit, but actually it was shrinking various lesions in my brain, which you can see. I will link another video of mine down below. You can see a MRI that I had done a year after I got out of hospital and kind of 6 months following my Lemchada treatment, which shows that all of my lesions have reduced. So that was happening. So although I really started to notice that I was actually improving so much more after my first course of Lemchada, running just still wasn't comfortable and I still couldn't use my left leg. It would just kind of plod along next to my right leg, but my right leg was pushing off from the ground and I was actually using my right leg, so my right leg always got injured and it always hurt because it was taking all of the weight of me and pushing off every single time, and my left leg was just plodding along next to it. So then the 2018 London Marathon came and went, and I remember watching it on the TV and just being so gutted, because always in my mind, from being paralysed in my hospital bed to all of the recovery period, for me the goal has been the marathon. If I can run a marathon, then I can do anything, and I have really shown this disease where to go. But still, up until this point, I couldn't really run. I was absolutely starting to love and fall in love with the gym and weight training, and I was noticing that I was improving so much by this point, but I still couldn't really run. So yeah, 2018 I'd had my 2 courses of Lemchada. I had my first course of Lemchada in December 2016 and my second course in December 2017. So yeah, I was really focused on the 2018 marathon, but unfortunately was not able to do it because there was no point. I wouldn't be able to get round. My right leg would have probably died and then I'd be just a mess on the floor. So we're in kind of summer now. I'm working, I'm going to the gym, I'm in such a good place. I hadn't run in ages because I just kind of thought, do you know what, I don't need to run a marathon to feel like I've beaten what's happened to me, because I had completely accepted by this point that I had MS and I had completely kind of moved on from everything, so I was feeling great and I just felt like I don't need a marathon to prove anything. So I hadn't been running or trying to run just because it just was depressing and it made me feel so upset that I couldn't do it, and it was a reminder that something had happened to me when I was feeling so great. Yeah, summer came around. Randomly I just decided to do a warm-up on a treadmill. If you follow me on Instagram, you know this story. If you want to see like when it actually happened, it's on one of my memories in my on my Instagram page. I think it's under remission, because this was such an amazing thing to happen and it was a massive turning point in my kind of recovery. So I was running on the treadmill and I noticed this really weird feeling in my left foot and in my left leg. I was like, what is this? What is going on? Like, something is different here. So I was running along for ages until it suddenly hit me. I'm running and I'm using, for the first time in 2 years, my left leg. My left leg came back to life, just completely out of the blue, and I was using it while I was running and I was pushing off of it and I was putting weight through it, and it felt amazing. I was only meant to warm up on the treadmill, but I ended up staying on there for like 45 minutes, and then I went upstairs and stretched and cried in the gym in front of everyone, just burst into tears because I just couldn't believe that after so long without it, and just completely accepting that, you know, I'd had a really good recovery and, you know, if I can't run then it's fine, it's not the be all and end all. I can still move in so many other different ways and exercise in different ways. But then it just randomly came back and it was absolutely insane. And this was towards the end of August that I realised that I could actually run. And then I thought, okay, I might have a shot at running a marathon then. So without putting any pressure on myself, I started running maybe once or twice a week, or maybe some weeks no runs. Just really when I felt up to it, I would go for a run. And I kind of had in the back of my head, if I can run up until Christmas and I'm feeling really good, then I will apply for the marathon and hopefully get a place, a charity place, which I'll go on to in a second. But yeah, if I'm feeling great up until Christmas, then I can decide then and hopefully get a place and then really start my training in the new year, because most marathon trainings start on the 1st of January anyway. So I was feeling really good up until Christmas. I was doing kind of casual runs, but I built myself up to run like 14k. In my head I did kind of want to get up to a half marathon, but then there was no point running that distance. It just, yeah, a 14k was fine for me. So then I'm going to do a whole other video about applying for the marathon and whatever, so keep your eye out for that. But basically I applied for the marathon and I got a place, and I'm so happy to announce that this year in April I'm running the London Marathon for the MS Society, and I am over the moon. MS or no MS, this is the biggest thing I will ever attempt in my life, I reckon. I don't think I'm going to run another marathon after this. This is going to be the most challenging thing I have ever done in my whole life, and I'm so happy to be running it for the MS Society, because they are such an amazing charity that has helped me so much with all of their resources online, with all of their research updates, and I really wanted to run for a charity that actually funds research into finding a cure for MS. I am so grateful that I am so healthy right now, touch wood everyone, but I am so healthy at the moment. I've recovered so well. I'm feeling so positive, and I feel as though so many things have aligned for me to be able to run the marathon this year, and I'm going to put my heart and my soul into it. I am running for me to finally close the book of 2016, of being paralysed, of being diagnosed with MS, of putting myself through 2 courses of really serious treatment, of having hospital appointments, of everything. I mean, I am still going to go to hospital appointments, but once a year instead of, you know, every few months. Of being scared about my future with this disease, and I feel like I am doing this for me. I feel a bit emotional, but I can't believe that in 2016 at 22, staring out of the window, not knowing I had MS, wishing that I was going to run the marathon just to prove to everyone, mainly my friends who knew I was in hospital, that I'm okay, you know, I'm fine, don't worry about me, I've done the marathon. But I just didn't know what was ahead of me, and I feel like running the marathon, I'm overcoming everything. So I'm running the marathon for me. I'm running the marathon to find a cure, because the MS Society funds research into obviously finding a cure or finding new disease-modifying therapies. 20 years ago there were no treatments for MS at all. So in 20 years from now there could be a cure, and to be honest with you, I need a cure to be found today. I need one to be found last month. Like, I need one for my future. So I'm running to find a cure, and I'm running for, this sounds so cringe, but I'm running for every single person who follows me on here who has MS, or who follows me and knows someone who has MS, or a relative who has MS. I'm running for every single person that follows me, that messages me on Instagram. Your stories really resonate with me, and they really inspire me, and as a community we are all so incredible, and we're all individually doing the best that we can do. So I think we can all commend ourselves for that, and I'm running for every single one of you. Sorry, my camera just died, so if you're in a slightly different position, that's why. So I feel like this video has been very jittery and all over the place, but that's just because I'm so committed and excited and terrified to run this marathon for everyone, and I want to do it well, and I want to do it for every single person that is suffering with this disease out there. I really just, yeah, I'm gonna put my heart and soul into it. If you want to support me running the marathon, I would be over the moon. The amount of support that I receive from you guys kind of daily, it just blows me away. So if you could get behind me and support me in the marathon, I think my heart would probably burst. This is going to be the hardest thing that I'm ever going to do. Before I had MS, when I was running the marathon, it was always going to be a hard thing to do. I am not a runner by any stretch of the imagination. Running, I always have found hard. So mentally and physically, this is going to be a big one. But if I have the support from you guys behind me, I know I will get across that line and I will do my best. I've set myself a target of £2,000 to raise for the MS Society, which is such an amazing charity, and I know the majority of you will probably have used their resources before or been on their website. So it's something that we can all come together on and help raise money for. But I've set myself that £2,000 target, which is actually the target that I need to raise to be able to run the marathon. But I want to smash that target. I want to go above and beyond. This is going to be the biggest thing that I do, and I really want to try and raise the most money that I can, because I want a cure for MS. I want it for me, and I want it for all of you. If my videos have ever helped you, or you know of anyone that my videos have helped, if you could donate even just £1 to the MS Society, which is such an amazing charity to me, because I was paralysed. I'm going from paralysis to running a marathon, and I have MS. It's pretty crazy. Even if it's just £1, I'd be overjoyed. I will leave my Just Giving page in the description of this video. So please donate to it if you want to support me, because I'll need your support, seriously. Because running is just not easy for me, and I have MS as well, so it's gonna be tough getting me across that finishing line, but I am so committed to getting there. Or if you can't donate, because I know money is always tight, then if you could just share this video, that would be so amazing. If you could spread the word. I really want the most amount of people to see this video that is possible, or to see my Instagram posts, just because the more people who know about MS, the better, and I really want to spread MS awareness and create awareness for this disease and what it is and what it looks like. But most importantly, I want to show people who have been newly diagnosed with MS, like me, because I was newly diagnosed with MS, had no idea what it was, and I was 22. So if any young people who have been newly diagnosed with MS, I want them to see that life still goes on. No matter where you are in your recovery or a relapse, or wherever you are in your diagnosis, and accepting it, you can achieve everything you want to achieve. I have thought for 2.5 years constantly about wanting to run the marathon, just to feel like, for me, I've done something massive to counteract the massive relapse that I had, and I'm finally able to do it. So I really want to show people that you can still achieve everything that you want to. I really want to show that getting a diagnosis of MS does not mean that your life is over. You can and you will still achieve everything you want to. So please spread the message of this. Get behind my Instagram posts, get behind my YouTube videos, because there's going to be a lot of marathon YouTube videos coming up on this channel. So if you're interested to see how my training is going, or how I'm feeling, or what I'm eating, then stay tuned, because there are going to be regular videos about my marathon. And yeah, please donate if you can. Please help me get to that finishing line, and please message me your support, because I'm telling you, there are going to be times that I am going to need it. But thank you so much for watching this video. I can't believe that I'm filming it, which means it's actually happening. In April, I'm going to be running 26.2 miles. I think it's 26.2. any support for me and the MS Society, which is such an incredible charity, I will link them down below as well, from the both of us, we will be so grateful. So thank you so much. I've got another video coming on Friday which shows how my first 2 weeks of training went, because I have been training now. This is my 4th week when I'm filming this. I've actually got to go for a run this evening, so wish me luck on that. But yeah, please support me on this, and thank you so much anyway for watching this video and for supporting me regardless of doing a massive challenge like this. It means the world to me, and I have such an incredible community on here, and I can't believe that I've got 3,000 followers. That's a bit crazy. But yeah, thank you so much. I hope you all have a lovely day. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and check out my links down below. And yeah, I will see you on Friday for my next video.